Good evening, everyone. Phil here. Welcome to the Daily Wrap for what was Tuesday, the 7th of November, 2023. A fun streaming day, a day full of progress, a day full of fun and support. I'm happy for how today went, honestly. Allow me to get you caught up on what's been going on. So, if you saw last night's Daily Wrap, you know how I was concerned. You know how things have been going recently where I kind of felt like I'm behind the eight ball with everything going on right now. With the sickness that's affected me, with a series of slower, less engaging streams. And I talked a lot about that on today's podcast. In fact, really the way I opened the podcast was all the time people ask you in life, hey, how you doing? Right? And what's the answer you usually give? Your answer is usually, yeah, I'm all right, or I'm doing good. So yeah, but it's usually not true because the person asking you the question really doesn't want an answer. They don't really want to hear how you're doing. What if you're not doing well? What if stuff's going on? Do you think they want to stand there and hear you complain? So it's kind of a weird question. It's just a platonic question. It doesn't really mean what it sounds like, right? And a lot of times it's just people trying to get an acknowledgement of you, out of you rather than a real answer. They don't actually care how you're doing, right? Today I told everyone how I was doing on the podcast. I revealed that not only are these residual symptoms that I have of this illness really still bother me a lot. You know, we're a week and a half into having this thing, and I still got nasal drippage, constant nose running, constantly have to blow the nose, clear the throat. It's tiring. It's, this is a very annoying, lingering, cold that is not fully going away, and it just sucks because I can't really do anything else to make myself recover faster besides just staying the course of what I'm doing and not overexerting myself, right? But in addition, there's a lot of other stuff going on, and I actually revealed that not only did I have a series of, some much slower days this week, which sucks because obviously I'm trying to come back from an illness when I already missed out on 3 full days of streaming and a marathon that would have propelled me back to a lot more support than I really have right now. But then in addition to that, other stuff happened. I just got a bunch of chargebacks against my PayPal account and all of that. So basically, if you want the full skinny on what's been going on with me lately, including both public and stuff behind the scenes, I talk all about it on today's podcast, all right? We also covered some news stories and things like that. There actually was no time to go through the suggestion box today due to the topics that I talked about, which is fine. We don't have to do it every day. We can always go back to the suggestion box when we have a slower podcast day, which very well could be tomorrow, okay? So, we then jumped into Alan Wake 2, and for 3.5 hours, so I actually played a little bit extra gameplay today. We played with Saga, and this time around we were in the Valhalla resting home for the elderly, or the wellness center. And it was a whole other dungeon area, lots of exploration, lots of new plot elements, big plot reveals, a big boss fight at the end, a hilarious glitch that happened during the boss fight that I'm going to see if possibly we can make a funny short out of. And, anyway, it was pretty good. It went pretty well. And there was a lot of support on the first stream today. I can tell you this, basically enough support that it kind of negated the annoying chargebacks that I'd gotten the night before. So it was nice. At the end of the day, I finished the stream and it was kind of like, okay, so I'm starting at 0 even now. But it's better to start at 0 than to be behind all day, which is what it was. Imagine that, waking up and being told, oh yeah, your pay is being taken back. Because it's exactly what happens when you get chargebacks on a PayPal account. So anyway, it was a great day. And by the way, people were more engaged. They were talking more about Alan Wake. We were discussing the plot and stuff. It was much better than some of the more recent streams where people were definitely more disengaged and not as interested. I think people actually tuned in for Alan Wake today, which was a good thing. So it went really well, in my opinion. Great progress. And it puts us in position to possibly finish the game, which I'm going to talk about in a couple of minutes here, okay? The late stream tonight was Spider-Man 2 continuing on, and it was a good mix of story, side content, and more. Side content-wise, we finished all of the Hunter blinds and the final Hunter mission. So the Kraven the Hunter stuff, optional stuff is done. And then it opened up a new one. I'm serious. We finished it and it says, oh, so now there's these birds in the city. And you have to use your flight ability, your gliding ability, which is new to this game, to follow these around. And there's like 8 or 9 of them. And you have to do it for like 5 minutes each. And by doing it, you build up a signal. After the signal, I guess there's a target, and now you can save the target. Now the birds won't go after those targets. It's definitely fluff. Like, it really has nothing to do with the story. It's fluff stuff. It's put in there to lengthen the gameplay of the game. We did like 2 of those, and I did find the final Mysterio challenge, which apparently was hidden. So we found it, did it, and then there was the big finale mission, and we finished the Mysterio plot line for Miles. So that was cool. Then we went back to the plot, and I want to say we did 2 or 3 major story missions. I actually stayed about a half an hour late to go a little late and actually finish up a major mission against the Lizard. All right? Big plot elements, big twists in the plot, interesting stuff. Overall, a great stream. And again, people showed up, they were engaged, and they were very supportive. So by the end of the day, I actually had a pretty big supportive day, which I really appreciated, because after having so many slower days, and then those chargebacks on top of it, it was greatly appreciated to get me back on track. Okay, so thank you all for that. I hope you enjoy all the gameplay that I put out today. Tomorrow is my final consecutive streaming day of the week before I have my Thursday off. After today's streams, here's what I've come to the determination. Tomorrow will be all about Alan Wake 2. And what I mean by that is I'm going to play it both streams, and I'm going to make an honest push to see if we can beat it. Now, here's the thing. I'm almost positive we're at the end of the segments, the individual segments of both Alan and Saga, and we're at a point where they're coming to an intersection, which leads you to the final act and the final end of the game. So, what's left is, we just finished this segment with Saga, and now we have the ability to deal with bolt cutters, and you can go back to the rest of the game and all the areas of the game you were not able to go to previously because you didn't have the bolt cutters, and you can now open up all those areas and complete all optional hidden tasks like the cult stashes, the nursery rhyme puzzles, and all of that. So I think at this point, because we have the bolt cutters, we can literally go anywhere in the game now that we want and solve everything. So that's what we're going to do tomorrow. We are going to go back to the wellness center and try to find apparently this hunting rifle that I missed. So we're going to look for that first. Then we're going to go to areas where the bolt cutters will open stuff. We will be doing a lot of that backtracking style gameplay tomorrow to start. Then once we've done all that, which could take a couple of hours, we're going to go into the story. And we're going to see, pushing the story along, how far we get. Then on the late stream, yes, it'll be more Alan Wake 2 as I try to basically get into the end game. Now, I don't know if in 5 hours we can beat it. We're 23 hours in. I don't know if 28 hours is how long this game is, but we'll see. And if I don't beat it, we're absolutely beating it sooner rather than later this coming weekend, because once it's done, we can focus on other new things and finishing up the other games. There's too many games going right now. I already have 3 juggled, and I absolutely need to be making more progress. So that's why we're focusing on Alan Wake 2 tomorrow. If you don't like Alan Wake 2, my apologies. I think this is the best strategy to try to get as far as I can and or finish it, because once it's done, we can move on to other things and focus on the other things, because right now, even with the alternation of the 3 games, it's too much, and we're not playing enough of each game. And now we got new games coming Friday. So we have to do something. We have to take some kind of a drastic measure here, and this is what I think we need to do, okay? So let's see how it goes tomorrow. I certainly hope you'll join me tomorrow and see what the end game is like, and hopefully we'll chill and we'll enjoy these final puzzles and everything together and have a good time and see how it all ends, all right? I'm not here on Thursday. When I come back on Friday, it will be the premiere of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 on the first stream. 3 hours of multiplayer. We'll be doing the initial loadouts, unlocks, building our custom, the custom loadout with weapons and the like. I'll take your advice on what weapons are good starter weapons to play. I can't wait to see all the maps unlocked. We only played on a small handful of the Modern Warfare 2 original maps that are now in Modern Warfare 3 Modern. And I can't wait to see more. And I think it's going to be a great time. All right? Friday night is up in the air because it depends on what happens with Alan Wake. If we beat Alan Wake, then obviously Friday night will maybe be like Spider-Man or Mario. But if we don't beat Alan Wake, we might do it again Friday night to try to finish it, okay? Then, once Alan Wake 2 finishes, we can start Like a Dragon Gaiden. That'll be the next playthrough that I begin. But of course, we'll continue on with Spider-Man and Mario to finish those up as well. That's the goal for next week. Finish Alan Wake, start Like a Dragon Gaiden, get Call of Duty into the rotation, and continue on with Spider-Man and Mario until they're done. That's essentially my goal for next week. Okay? I hope that sounds good to everybody. Now, tomorrow also, as long as I'm up to it, I'm going to be filming my review of Invincible Season 1. I finished it the other night. I just really haven't had time to work on it. Like tonight, for example, it's already 10 o'clock because I stayed late for Spider-Man. I've actually got to do some things I need to set up behind the scenes, some emails I need to answer and stuff. So I just haven't had an opportunity yet. But I'm thinking maybe tomorrow night I'll be able to sit down. It's my final day of the week anyway. Take a little bit of extra time to film that review for you and put it out on DSP Reacts, and that means then I can start watching Season 2 and reviewing that weekly. And at that same time, I likely will set it up so that people on DSP Reacts can start suggesting stuff for me to watch and review over the course of November into December. Okay? And tomorrow's podcast, I'm excited. I'm hoping that maybe we can do some more of the suggestions box and stuff like that. I already have some game news to talk about. We already got a couple interesting game news stories that came out tonight. But, well, I'm sure we'll have more than that and maybe suggestion box stuff as well for the last day of the week. All right? So I just want to say to all of you, after today, I feel way more positive, way more invigorated. Yesterday, when I ended the day, I felt defeated. I was like, man, we're getting disengagement. People aren't really supporting the streams. People aren't really even paying attention to the content of the streams. What's going on? Today flipped. Today people listened to what I said, showed up, engaged, supported, had a great time on the streams. All right? And here's something that I am going to reiterate this tomorrow. All right? Here's the deal. I love the fact that I can be successful, all right, and happy doing things not only that I love, but are meaningful and not destructive. And I'll give you an example of what I mean by that. A few days ago, last week, a documentary came out about Boogie. And people, are you going to react to it? Are you going to watch it? We'd like to see you react to it. You actually to watch it. I'm like, guys, you got to understand something. We're in the middle of the busiest gaming season of the year. This is what I do. I'm a gamer. This is what I'm here for. Positivity, fun, and sharing my experiences with games. Yeah, I've done react content. But that's more, that's drama style stuff. That's stuff for filler time. That's not what I'm here for. That could be something that we do in the future if you really want it. But I'll be honest, I'm not really too interested in Boogie. Boogie's someone who this year treated me really bad. I was treating the guy nicely. He reached out to me to be on a podcast. Then he decides to go for the payday by teaming up with Keemstar for multiple events, and it all blew up in his face, and now the guy's in dire straits, and it's his own fault. He made his own bed, and now he's living in it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really care about the guy. I want to talk about him. I don't want to create drama around him. I don't want to watch a documentary on him. I just want to play games and have fun, which is what I'm here for. I have a core audience of people who are here for the positive content I do. If the only time you can get any kind of attention on the internet is because someone else is having a bad day and you decided to talk about it, or the only time that you can get any kind of pertinence to anyone on this planet is when there's some kind of big drama involved, you failed. See what I mean? And that's not who I am. That's not who I am. I don't want to be that. I want to be able to share games and my passion for them and have fun with them and be successful. And today you guys helped me with that and turned it around. It made me feel really good about myself again. And I really appreciate that. Because I don't want to go to dire straits where it's like, well, people don't want to see Phil enjoy, games anymore. Instead, he has to sit here and do a drama react to a documentary. I don't have to do that. Because I have pertinence to positivity, not negativity and toxicity. You understand? That's what sets me apart. When they try to group me in with those fucking people, that's what makes me different. Because that's not who I am and that's not what I have to do. I can be a man apart from their bullshit drama and nonsense. And I can actually enjoy things for the same reason that I started making videos 15 years ago. I can still do it in 2023 and be successful. Thank you for that ability. That's the difference, okay? So, yeah, it's funny because, people saying stuff like that to me these last few days. Oh, you just need to change and give in and just start doing the drama content constantly. No, I don't. No, I really don't. That's the difference between my level of success and enjoyment and continued ability to make content and be successful versus those guys who struggle for relevance on a daily basis. They just have to sit there doing drama constantly. No, I don't have to. And that's good. And thank you for that. Again, I'm grateful because I don't have to. I'll talk a little bit more about this tomorrow on the podcast, but I just want, I'm feeling so good that today went so well. I'm looking forward to tomorrow with the Alan Wake stuff and the end game. I think it's going to be a great time. I hope you'll join me for that. And of course, once I start playing Call of Duty on Friday, you guys know people are going to show up for that because they love the beta. So it's going to go well and it's going to be good stuff. Okay? Guys, thank you so very much. Have a good night. I'll see you in the morning. We'll talk more about this. We'll do suggestion box. We'll do a good variety of stuff. And then Alan Wake all day. Okay? Thank you all. Have a good night. I'll see you in the AM. Peace out, my friends.